Well, I first became aware of anarchism when I was maybe, I think I was in the 8th grade. So around 13 years old, I had some friends that were actually into like punk music and stuff. And from there, that's when I first was exposed to the term anarchism, but I didn't necessarily see it too much in practice. You know, and then from there, I got more into the Black Panther Party, because I was actually frustrated, you know, with seeing my folks or black people in America being lynched and understanding the history with white supremacy and knowing like what went on with slavery, which naturally led me to reading the Black Panther Party. And from there, I got into Maoism, Marxism, you know, dialectical materialism and all that. And then I think more so I got pretty active during the anti-war movement, I guess, when Bush came into office and the second, I guess, an attack on Afghanistan. I actually went to put things into practice, because before then I was more of like what they term mental masturbator. I would just simply read books, put all this information in my head, but I had no one to actually get it out to or speak to, you know, speak about these things with. So I actually went out, began to see about different organizations, and became really disillusioned with the authoritarian left, you know, the Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, because I think I came into it thinking they were organized and they had a solid movement together, but come to find out that they were all actually attacking each other more than they were the systems of oppression. So from there, and then I became involved with the Southern California Collective Network, which was a loose organization of folks in Los Angeles. And out of that was created was the Southern California Anarchist Federation, which at that point gave me the space to be able to have dialogue with other like-minded folks, I guess, but still I was getting my feet wet at that time, you know, trying to figure out things and see where people were coming from. And like I said, at that point it had been mainly just me reading about stuff, more theoretical, you know, as opposed to practice. So from the Southern California Anarchist Federation, which had its internal problems and stuff that, you know, that went on, like all collectives and organizations do, they have their problems. But out of that we created, or was a collective of that was CopWatch Los Angeles. And that was the means in which we felt that it was time for us to take back our community and observe the police. It was nothing new, you know, it came out of the Black Panther Party, which did the same thing, how they patrolled their community, armed at that time, utilizing the oppressor's laws and knowing the laws, and also knowing that laws can be changed whenever they want to, you know. So got into the Black Panther, from there so the Southern California Anarchist Federation we created. Out of that came CopWatch. Out of CopWatch came Revolutionary Autonomous Communities, which is something that we felt after Southern California Anarchist Federation disbanded, CopWatch stayed on, and from there we decided, all right, CopWatch is simply a tactic, you know. It's not a means within itself of liberating our people, and in some communities it might not be even a viable tactic, you know. We met a brother that came out here from Brazil and came to the conclusion that CopWatch might not necessarily work in his community, you know. But it was something that was a reflection of our community, and we felt that we needed to observe these pigs. We were going to shoot back in some ways, and we were going to utilize a camera and social media to be able to observe the police. And I think that all ties into anarchism, or direct action, and that direct participatory action also, because we structured it in a way that where no one was telling us what to do. We were based off of collectives in our own communities, because we felt that only we knew the conditions in our communities, and if someone else was to come in, we felt that they had to be invited in, because at the end of the day they can leave that community and we still have to sit there and suffer the repercussions of state terrorism and the police treating us as, you know, an occupying army in our community. So I think that that has been more so tied into my anarchism, or my consider myself an autonomous person of color or anti-authoritarian person of color, however you choose to, label it or identify it, And that, I think, was a tactic that we utilized, but also having a larger vision and understanding that just focusing on the cops wasn't going to free us, that after you get rid of the pigs or the cops who are simply an oppressed working class people also working against their own interests in the long run, that it was more systemic, that it was a system-wide thing. But also with anarchism gave me the analysis of authority, not necessarily being reactionary, being against this, against that, which has become synonymous with anarchism, but being more proactive and let's create, let's be principled and let's set what we're for and what we're against based off of these principles. Those are, our foundation. And that's basically how, attracted me to anarchism, and I guess have been our approach as to trying to liberate ourselves, in our communities. And we realize that no one's going to come in and they can't liberate us, We don't have all the answers. We up front and say that we don't have all the answers. And we don't trust you if you come in our community and say that you do have all the answers. Like, revolution is not written in a handbook, It's not in a red book. Aspects of it is, it's not in Capital by Marx or anything like that. It's ground, doing stuff in your community, talking face to face to people, and just creating that dialogue and those safe spaces for people to be able to come together and build the type of world that they ultimately want to live in, and at the same time realize that this is a classist, racist, fascist system, but at the same time know that we can create something much better than what we have now.